Are you making dog training mistakes without even realizing it? These can quickly turn a well-mannered dog into a nightmare to live with. Today we're going to go over some mistakes you are possibly making and some quick fixes. Please consider subscribing if you find this content helpful. Kara and myself took the dog swimming and got some B-roll, so we're just going to talk over this footage. And if you guys want some info on this Life Vest, send me a DM on Instagram, JasonCorey411, and I'll send you the link.
One reason I wanted to talk about this topic is because I was taking Justice for a walk the other day and realized there was another dog owner there with a very small dog, and I noticed the dog was just displaying a lot of behaviors that I could tell were not appropriate, and I didn't think that the owner really even knew that she was doing stuff wrong. So I thought it'd be a good time to maybe bring up some of these mistakes that I genuinely think people just don't even realize they're making, Jay.
I completely agree.
Number one is inconsistent training. So many people think maybe if they train their dog in the early years of life for a little bit, then they're one and done. Or maybe life just happens and you just stop altogether doing your obedience work. Things like sit, stay, recalling your dog, it's all a skill. So at any point in time you stop practicing that skill, it's going to diminish.
And wouldn't you agree that fixing this is super easy?
I do, because I've seen it firsthand.
And all you have to do is do random drills around the house with your dog. When you're out walking your dog, you can do random drills like recall drills, sit drills, stay drills. You can have them lay down around distractions. It keeps them sharp and on point, as well as it mentally tires them out, which is a huge thing when you're training your dog, is you want them to be mentally tired out, because a tired dog is a well-mannered dog.
Honestly, this comes up a lot with people telling Jason and I that their training stopped during COVID. And while I understand that statement, your training should really never stop. And so some of those drills Jason just mentioned, you can do very easily inside your own home. So regardless of what's going on in the world around us, we don't have to make it that complicated, right?
I agree.
I'd love for you all to go down to the comment section and list for me a training mistake you've made and how you've fixed it. This is a friendly community here, no judgment. Your story could help someone else out. No one's perfect, so please share your story down below.
I'd say another big one, and let me know if you agree, would be household inconsistency. You and your partner are not on the same page, where I may be the militant one and you may be the soft one, where let's say the dog must sit before he eats, sit before he's let out.
Right.
And your partner, it's a free-for-all. The dog has no rules. It can do whatever it wants.
I totally agree with this. You have to be on the same page, because if not, it gets extremely confusing for your dog, creating massive anxiety in them, not only in them, but the whole household, because the dog just doesn't know what's expected of them anymore.
And to fix it, it comes down to having a serious talk with your partner. Explain pack hierarchy, how the dog needs a leader in life, and how everyone in the house needs to be a leader to the dog, or it will take over.
I think even just sitting down and coming to an agreement and actually writing out a plan on what your set commands are going to be that both partners feel comfortable with, the whole household feels comfortable with, and just lining up what your overall training goals are for the dog, and maybe reverse engineer that. If you want a perfect companion, then you have to reverse engineer how to get that perfect companion, and it's going to come down to that consistency with everyone in the household and how they're training the dog.
If you guys want an extraordinary dog, it's going to take extraordinary effort.
Number 3, not understanding the dog breed's specific needs. So maybe you bought a Canine Corso, for instance. You saw how amazing Bruce Wayne was. You love how he looked, but you're not able to satisfy their guardian instincts because maybe you've never had a guardian breed before. Or maybe you bought a Corgi thinking they're just super cute, but you didn't understand that they're a herding breed filled with energy and really need that outlet to fulfill their working instincts.
And in a perfect world, a fix would be to not make this mistake before you get a dog.
Right.
And getting the breed that fits your lifestyle. That's like the first step in getting any dog for a perfect canine companion, because just like you don't like every single person in the world, you're not going to like every type of dog in the world, and every dog breed has a different personality. Obviously, if you already have a dog, you can't change that now. So this is where you need to take a deep dive into your breed's needs and tailor your training to your dog's needs.
And I would just like to additionally emphasize, we really have to stop choosing dogs based on cuteness and looks, because it really is going to end up in a bad situation.
I totally agree, and that was always my issue with this channel, and why I've always emphasized to people that Bruce Wayne isn't Bruce Wayne because I didn't do anything. Bruce Wayne is Bruce Wayne because of how we trained him, how we raised him, how we continue to raise him. But a lot of people just ignore that fact and see how calm and how well mannered Bruce and Justice are and think that's how they come, and it's not the case. It takes a lot of work, guys.
I think that's why you've honestly, maybe you didn't even realize it, but very carefully curated your video library here on YouTube with not just here's why Canine Corsos are great. Like, you have so many resources here just helping people better kind of unpack what this breed really entails, because you never wanted people to just get the breed based on looks.
I didn't. I really wanted to destigmatize the bad rap they had. And while we're on this topic, I have amazing training courses linked in the description box that will get you that perfect canine companion. I even have a course specifically on the Canine Corso breed. So check those out. You do save 10% if you use code Jason. And also it helps support the family, helps support the channel, because we all got bills to pay. The next one, I would say allowing dominant behavior such as jumping, humping, or guarding food. I get people that will DM me saying, hey, my dog's humping me. Is this normal? What should I be doing? Should I correct it? Absolutely correct it.
Shouldn't even be a question.
You should always correct any behavior you do not like. And you must be 100% consistent with this, because if not, the dog's going to be completely confused on what it can and cannot do. And on that same note, on the flip side, you have to praise the wanted behavior, even if you didn't ask for it. This starts building your communication with your dog so they understand what is expected from them and what they're allowed to do and not do.
Wouldn't you say too, Jay, if you allow your dog to just continuously display that dominant behavior without addressing it, it's going to really confuse that hierarchy of who's in charge in the household?
Absolutely, 100% agree.
Which could definitely lead to some major issues.
Yes, and especially if you have a Canine Corso, you do not want a Canine Corso resource guarding or protecting their food from you or anything like that, because that's a 700 pounds per square inch of bite force coming at your face.
Yeah, it's scary. Number 5 is a lack of mental stimulation. So I'm not just talking about taking your dog for a walk around the block. Many breeds need more mental stimulation than others.
You need more mental stimulation. I make Kara do crossword puzzles to keep her sharp.
We all need that mental stimulation. So I've heard it from people a lot where they're like, I walked my dog and they're still wanting more from me. It's because your dog needs more mental stimulation. And if you don't do that, they may become really destructive around the house, or they may display signs of anxiety, and just not being able to fulfill that need.
That's why I tell anybody that they should not get a Belgian Malinois, because you are not going to be able to mentally satisfy that dog unless you have 23 out of 24 hours of the day free to spend with your dog.
And do you think with mental stimulation, it's definitely going to help to understand breed specific here? Would you agree?
Totally.
Yeah. And so to help as a fix for this, regardless of what breed you have, really doing the obedience work can definitely satisfy their mentals, giving them a job to do. Sometimes we'll even just have the dogs, we'll show them their toy, we'll hide it in the house, and we'll make them go find it. Nothing exhausts them more than hide and seek. Also, using a weighted vest makes them feel like they're performing a job. So maybe the basic walk isn't enough. Someone like Justice, for instance, he needs that little extra bit of work to really mentally satisfy him. Okay, number 6, ignoring unwanted behavior. So yes, we already talked about dominant behavior, but unwanted behavior such as maybe your dog just is constantly licking himself and making really gross noises, or maybe the dog's always grabbing your shoes and bringing them to places in the house. Maybe you don't see that as a bad thing, but maybe it's an unwanted behavior that you're just not addressing.
And to fix this, just as with dominant behavior, you need to correct it the moment it happens. If your dog's carrying around a shoe in his mouth for 5 minutes, you can't correct them because they won't understand. They won't connect the dots onto what they're being corrected on. I've had the shoe in my mouth for 5 minutes. Why are you yelling at me now? So instantly has to be corrected. And for licking, for example, I don't want to listen to Bruce and Justice sloppily lick their own wieners. It's disgusting sound.
You don't?
I do not.
Oh.
So we can literally tell them to stop, and they will stop instantly. Because we are always communicating with them what we want and what we don't want.
I think that's really important what you said about the timeliness about correcting this stuff, because I think a lot of people don't understand that it's not going to make sense to a dog unless you do it at the right time.
Yeah, it has to be like within seconds. On the way out, again, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. We have a great video in the works showing you everyday ways you can utilize a guard dog. We were going to film it today, but Bruce Wayne is unfortunately injured and shelved for now. So until next time, Bruce Wayne, Joey Justice, Kara Corey, thanks for joining me, and myself, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.